Hello, well, everybody's here, so we might as well make a start, which is good. Well, firstly, thank you very much for coming doing the workshop. And the idea of these workshops and talks is to give a bit more of an understanding about pewter and what you can do with it. There are so many different techniques and processes you can use with it. It's a lovely material to work with, and not many people use it. I think within colleges and universities there's been a bit of a contamination issue, so people are a bit scared of using it when they're doing silver work and things as well. But like I say, I first started using it when I went to Sir John Cass 30 years ago. So I did a silversmithing degree there. So you'd probably tell from that I've not looked back. I've been using it ever since. To me, I just love it as a material to work with. The pewter itself, it's a very traditional material. I think people often associate it with being that dull grey colour, whereas nowadays it's completely lead-free, so which I don't know if you saw, well, you've obviously seen all the work in the other room of the people selling the work. It's a very shiny, it's lovely soft material to work with, and it's made predominantly, shall I say, has anybody worked with it before? Has anybody done any, you done a little? Yeah. Oh, you're going to start making sure I'm doing it right now, aren't you? Yeah, I think a few people probably done that. Hopefully not the ones with the lead in it. So no. Yeah. So the pewter itself is made of tin, copper and antimony. So it's 92 to 98% tin, and then the rest of it's copper and antimony, because the tin on its own is a very soft material. But I can pass you that round and you can just have a look at the raw ingredients of it as such. What I'm going to be doing today, it's a very simple taster to get you, it's the best bit, it's the fun bit of doing the pewter casting. It's pouring the metal into some moulds. So I already have some moulds that you'll be pouring them into, because it's quite a quick taster workshop. It just gives you an idea of the process. Sorry, if anybody has any questions while I'm talking probably very fast, I will slow down once I get going. But
I have a question.
Yeah.
Antimony, where is that?
I'm not sure actually where they source it from. It's one of those minerals. It's on the cusp of being a metal and a mineral. It's a very brittle material on its own. It's replaced the lead in a lot of things actually. So it's used to give the metal strength, because obviously the tin's very soft. So where things like I think somebody was saying that they've been using replacement in shotgun think pellets and things like that as well. But it's I should ask my pewter source, because I get it as a ready-made alloy, so I'm not mixing that would be one job too many for me, I think, doing that as well. But so the pewter itself, it lends itself really well to casting, because it's you may not know, it's a low melting metal, so it starts to melt at 220 degrees. So, I mean, I usually do my casting at about 290, so the pot here is at 290 to 300 degrees. And because it is this low melting metal, it means it's why we can pour it into this silicon rubber. So it's designed to withstand slightly higher temperatures. And these are what you'll be using, so I can pass you one of those around as well, so just so you can have a look at it. Because it's a low melting metal, you've got other materials that you can cast into as well. So this piece here, it's literally been poured onto corrugated cardboard. So it doesn't burn the cardboard, so it falls off. These pieces here are it's aluminium foil. So it's literally the aluminium foil's been sort of scrunched up, and then the pewter's been poured into it, and then the foil peels off, because even though aluminium's a low melting metal, it's still nowhere near as pewter. So you can get this lovely texture. And then this piece here, it had a stone set into just put into the foil, and then the pewter poured around it. So it actually created a sort of setting for the pewter. You can also use cuttlefish, which you find on the beach. At one point, many people were using it for birds to make their beaks blunt and things, but it's the lovely thing with the cuttlefish is you actually get the texture of the bone on it as well, which you'll see on the back of this piece here. Let's pass that one around. There are so many different techniques and processes you can use with the pewter, and the casting is just one of them. I mean, last year I wanted to have a play with the metal, because you don't often get a chance to have a play. So I started exploring pouring the pewter over dried grasses and things like that. I've got a piece in the other room that's actually been preserved leaves and ferns. So the pewter was poured over that, over a steel former, and then it actually captured the pieces. So these were some of the test pieces I did. So these were poured over a former, and you can see it doesn't actually burn the leaves. So it creates, I mean, I've cut sections out in the other and soldered pieces in, which there was a few bits that didn't make it and got blown off with the torch when I misfired with my soldering torch. But you can get, and then like this one here with the poppy seed heads in it. So there's some sharp bits on these, so just watch when you're passing that around. There you go, and that one as well.
You break it, you have to buy it.
Oh, thank you. So that's just a brief sort of introduction to the casting process. I mean, it's a lovely process to use with the pewter because obviously it's a very fluid material as well, so it works lovely with the casting element of it. And obviously you can create multiples of it. Even with the cuttlefish, if you don't have any undercuts in it, you can actually reuse that cuttlefish bone. So yeah, so that one, there was a steel former. I positioned the poppy seeds over the top and then poured that, so it creates that smooth surface underneath. So the piece in the other room, it's got, I've then sculpted acorn, leaves, oak leaves, sorry, acorn leaves, oak leaves, and then soldered them in. So this, we can start with the casting. So the setup for the casting, I mean, I've got a melting pot, but you can actually just do it with a blowtorch and a ladle, so you don't need this. Obviously, when I'm doing the casting all the time, it's a much slower way of working to have it with the torch. But if you're just wanting to try at home or do any, you can simply have a torch and some fire bricks around it, and then pouring the pewter in. So right. So we're going to, there's a pile of moulds here, which if everybody selects one, not now, but once I've gone through the demonstration, selects one. And then initially we need to put some talc in the mould. And then we just bang that together to get rid of the excess. So the talc helps the pewter to flow around the mould and then to release from the mould. And we're going to sandwich them between the two pieces of wood. And then using a clamp to just secure it in place. When you clamp it, when you're tightening the clamp, you don't want it to be so tight that it's squashing it, because if obviously it's squeezing, the internal shape is going to distort. So you're literally wanting it so it's holding the two halves of the mould together to stop it splaying open once the pewter's poured in. And then we're going to just rest that in the tray. So I always use a tray just because it means that obviously no pewter's flowing everywhere, and you can be a bit more confident with the pouring that you know it's all captured in one spot. And you probably, so I don't know if you probably can't see in the pot, but at the moment there is when you come round, you'll see there's a layer of dross on the surface. So we want to get rid of that layer, and I'm just going to scrape that off, and it reveals the shiny metal underneath, because what you don't want is any of that dross going into your casting. So it's where it's come in contact with the air. And also another thing that's great with pewter is it's completely recyclable. So any scraps or anything that goes wrong, it can go straight back in the pot. But what that does mean is sometimes you get bits of dust or the odd saw blade or a bit of emery paper floating up as well if you've pulled it off the top. But you're wanting to get that nice clean metal ready for pouring into the casting. The cast iron ladle, now we need to make sure that this ladle is hot. Can you see how that's sticking to the ladle? So if I were to start pouring that into the mould now, the pewter's already cooled. So what we're aiming to do is get that pewter into that mould as close to the temperature on here as possible. So by actually just dropping it into the pot, it's still doing it. So you just want to hold it under for a couple of seconds, and it just builds up that temperature within it, so then we can quickly pour that into the mould. So the talc that I use, it's just like a French chalk that you can just put onto it as well, just on that one, in an old sock, whatever you've got to hand. So now that's pouring off nice and cleanly, so we know that that's ready to...
Can you put anything using silver, you put something like borax in or something?
No, it's just the pewter. So yeah, that's what I mean. The processes are very. I mean, it was a silversmithing degree that I did, and the techniques are very similar. It's, you know, apart from the fact it's obviously it's a lower temperature, so you use different solders, you use different fluxes, you use pewter flux and solders. You don't do any annealing because obviously if you anneal a piece, it just melts it. It's literally like welding, really. You're just focusing the heat on the area that you're soldering, because too much heat. You know, when I teach silversmiths and they come in with a torch and blast it, and it's just a little pool of pewter. I mean, once you've done it, you get the technique. It's really easy to do it. It's just once you're just mastering it. But they think with pewter as well. I think it's that it gives you that freedom with them as a material, because obviously there's a cost issue with silver, whereas with the pewter there are so many different techniques and processes you can use, and you can try. So like these pieces, to be able to just play with that, I couldn't experiment like that with silver because it would just be too expensive a way of doing it. And I can create much bigger pieces as well, because, you know, if it doesn't work, I can put it back in the pot and melt it. I know you can do that with silver, but you wouldn't want to be using big lumps of silver, whereas with pewter, there's just freedom with it as well. Sorry, I'll stop waffling and get on with it. So so the ladle's nice and hot. It's all pouring off nice and evenly. And I'm just going to now quickly pour that. So don't worry about it leaking over, that's fine. You're just wanting it to go into the mould. And then put the ladle flat side down on the... So try and flick that. So it starts to cool very quickly, especially as the moulds are all cold. If you were to do multiple ones, the temperature builds up in the mould and it takes a little bit longer for it to cool down. But that's now ready to open. So you can take your right hand glove off, but I would keep the left one on just because the mould will still be quite hot. And if I open that up, and you can get them the right way with the mirror, but you can see how that's instantly come out as a shell. And these rubbers are, I mean, it's great for picking up the details in them as well. And these are all cold cure rolled rubbers as well, so there's no heat involved in making any of the moulds. So you can use organic things as well. So you could, you can use like poppy seed heads, or you can use anything like that. There's some of the moulds, you have to heat them up in intense temperatures, so you can't make wax patterns or anything like that either. So, but there we go. And then once you've got that, we can just cool that down. And we're just gonna, it's simply cut off, just cooling that down. And we're just gonna cut off the sprue. The sprue is this section here, using the snips. Good. Actually, can you pass me those big grey handled ones there? Getting a bit better with them. Thank you. My favourite ones. There we go, much easier. And then you've got some files and things on your desks as well, so we can start to just file those off and use the emery, but I'll go around you individually because it'd be good to get you all going to start having a go at casting. So there's some moulds over there if you want to come over and choose a mould, and then it's going to be a bit of a queuing system to sort of get you round and through. But if you want to come and have a look, there's some different ones here. So yeah, come and feel free to choose something to have a go at. And hopefully if you all get a chance, you might be able to get another casting as well. So I would say as well, if you have got short sleeve top, do you have a long sleeve top as well?
I will.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, not now. You can choose your, but it's just when you're doing the casting, just in case anything splashes, it's just good to be covered up. And there's some goggles as well. There we are, some goggles. And we'll put that one back down if anybody wants them.
I thought that'd be a nice photo.
I don't think.
I just take a
Yeah,
photograph
please do.
or
Yeah, of
something.
course you can. Yeah.
Of course, you can always rely on it making a noise.
I did do a little tiny thing in a cuttle shell at the Make It
Oh yeah, yeah.
thing at one of the universities.
Yeah.
They had this Make It.
Oh, sorry. Are you ready to go? Do you have a long sleeve top at all? No, yeah, no, that's
He
just...
has got a lot of experience.
Yeah, well, I'll show you. Just be careful when you, obviously, if any splashing. So if you want to grab yourself a couple of bits of wood and clamp that between... Well, you need to put the talc on first. So if you put some of the chalk on first, so if you open up your mould, yeah. So if you just put it on both sides, yeah. It's just so that it helps the pewter to flow around the mould and then to release, and just tap off your excess. Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah, you want them to do it with the sock on both sides?
Yeah. Shall I come round this side? There we are. And then if you clamp that between the two pieces of wood.
Is the dross just metal oxides?
Yeah, it's just where it's in contact with the air and any bits of dust and things that sort of come to the surface as well. Yep, so if we just put that to the edge there, and then the clamp doesn't have as far to go. There you go. And then round, that's it. So we're not going to be doing it too... Sorry, there's a little bit of hanging around on this one until you get going. You could be setting up yours, yeah?
Shall I do it?
Yeah, do you want to do it on... Yeah, he's done.
God, well done.
If I put that there and then you can do...
Listening.
Yeah. That's it. So you want some gloves? Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, binoculars, safety glasses would be better. And if I just, squeeze through. Oh, sorry, I'll just come around this. Sorry, if I just, yeah, can I just stand here? Sorry, it's just one, well, in case it splashes, that's all.
We actually came over to look at your earrings.
Oh, right, oh, there, Trish is in the other room. Yep, so if we scrape the dross off the surface. That's it.
Stand here, you have to give a talk.
That's good. And then just check that the pewter's flowing nice and cleanly off the ladle. And just make sure it's coming off. That's it, that's good. And then you're ready to go. Perfect. And you can stop. Excellent. Put that back in flat side down. So just on here, flat. That's it. Good. And then we can wait for that to, you can usually tell if there's a bit of a wobble in the middle, but it's nice and still. So that's probably ready to open. So if you want to come down to this side, you can open that up actually, if you want to open that up. And you want, it's going to be warm, so if you use those, and if you can, if they can just get to there's some water there if you want to put that into. Perfect. That looks lovely. Oh. Don't you? There you go. Thank you. And
Not if it doesn't stand up straight.
so you want it not to be wobbling too much, so if you put that to the back, and I tend to not put, that's quite tight.
Okay.
That's it. You're just wanting it to hold it together, not to be actually squashing it.
This is my first time.
Oh, right. There you go.
Never been here before.
So if you want to put the gloves on, you're all ready to go.
I think so.
Yeah?
Is that tight enough?
Yeah, that looks good.
I was listening.
Yeah, you will be tested.
It oxidises, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes very quickly, yeah.
How do you make the moulds?
I was going to ask my question.
Yeah, so Lego. If you want to go back to childhood, it's literally a square of Lego, and then you set your pattern. That's good. You're ready to pour on that one?
Enough.
Yeah, that should be up. I would do that again just because you were quite slow, because while you were talking, it's cooling down.
Okay.
So you want to just in one quick. That's it, that's better. So you would set, so say that was my pattern, I would set that half in plasticine, so it's called Chivant, an oil-based clay all the way around it, in a Lego frame. Then pour your rubber on, turn it over, peel off the Chivant, and then using a release spray so that it obviously doesn't stick together. There's smaller gloves there as well.
Shall I go over here?
Yeah, that'd be lovely, thank you.
You could take the meat would have taken me years
that?
to work that out.
Well, it was. I didn't. I was. I'm not the inventor of that one, I'm afraid. It does get an opportunity to play with your leg.
Mould made out of?
This is called Gedio Silicone, which is actually a 2-part putty, so it sets in 10 minutes, which means I can do what I use for my workshops. But the normal one's a liquid one. You can either get from Tarantes, or I use a company in Germany now, Troll Factory, that do, because it's much more flexible. That's good. So you can put that into the pot. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, Dan. That's it. So if you just scrape that off and clean it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good. Yeah, you can keep going forever once you start, because it just as long as there's no.
Straight and just cut
Yeah.
this off.
Oh no, you're not left-handed.
No, just with that,
Yeah. So you can cut that off, and then you can just file and emery that little bit. And there's some steel brushes as well, if you want to give it a rub over with those.
Just scoop out and in.
Yeah. So scoop out and in. That's it. That's good. Stop. That's it. Perfect.
This one.
So I would just, it's a little bit liquid still, so maybe just wait for it to solidify a little bit, just to, so it's not pouring
I
off.
was just trying to blow on it.
That's good, yeah, so you're probably ready to, you got glasses, and there's some safety ones there.
I'm afraid my hands aren't dainty enough for
No,
that.
that's,
You're expecting daintier people, weren't you?
I've got the big ones as well. There you go, there's yours.
Oh, no, you're going to need it. It's hot.
Yeah, just wait till you've opened it up, yeah, just to make sure it's not too hot to hand.
Yeah, of course.
You might be all right with just one usually.
Health and safety.
Absolutely. Health and safety gone
Just
there.
over here.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. That's good. So if you just use the pliers to lift it out, because it'll still be quite warm.
Yeah.
And then you can drop that into the... And there we have a perfect example of filing, which you can do next to clean up your sprue.
Yeah.
No pressure, but I'll be checking it's the same.
You will be.
Yeah.
We won't be allowed to go until we've done it. No problem.
So if you just want to... Oh, sorry. Oh. So you can just cool it in the water just there. That's it, so scrape all that off. I'll just check that a minute. It just looks as though it's... Oh no, it's not. Sorry, I thought it would. It looked like it might be a bit tight, but it's not. I'm questioning your judgment.
No, I've clearly never done this before.
That's good.
Doesn't seem to be enough.
It's actually quite a small amount. It's quite deceptive how much you need. Yep. The thing is, as well, once you've done one, if you've cleaned up and emeried it, you can... so we've got these emery sticks just here. So if you use the file initially, like the gentleman just there, it's been very good. And then you can file it with the emery stick. And then we've got some steel brushes that you can just rub over the casting, and it just gives it a nice satin finish. And obviously, once everybody's had a go, if you want to, you can all come up. You can always pick another one up and have another go. So, if it's too big, we've got little needle files that you can.
Get this
Yeah.
bum sorted out.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, you can open that up. That's good. So, shall I just check that's nice and? Oh, it's a bit tight. Yeah, very tight. So. Yeah, you're wanting, because the shape inside it'll misform. So if all we're wanting to do is hold it together just so it doesn't splay open when the pewter goes in. So it's quite loose. That's perfect. There you go. So you can just scrape that off. That's the fun bit, seeing all the shiny metal in there. It's lovely.
Some large gloves, anybody needs them, and ammonite
There you go.
mould.
Okay. Yep. So that's nice. Good. So just check it's pouring off the ladle nice and cleanly. So it's not. So if you just tip it off to. Yeah. So you see how it's coming off and there's nothing left in there. So that's perfect. So you know that it's at the right temperature. And then into the mould. That's fine, keep pouring, because it's, yeah. So because you stopped, you're better to do it in one go, but yeah, but that it looks as though it went in again, so you should be okay. So that's enough there. So now you can put that back in the pot. And then just wait for that to, so we're wanting, can you see here it's a little bit wobbly still, so we're wanting that to solidify a bit before we move it too much, just to make sure it doesn't pour off. Yeah, so it does cool quite quickly.
You say that, mine's still very hot.
Did you not put it in the water?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, I missed that. I missed that bit.
That helps.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would lift that up slightly because the pewter's got a long way, so if we lift the mould nearer to the top, just so we can do it, so it's, that's it. And then, that's it, just so that the pewter's not having to drop as far, because it makes it cool down as quicker as it's going. That's good. I'll get you some pliers. Want some pliers to lift that out? It might be a bit hot. So if you want to put it in the water and that'll cool it down, if you use your, yeah.
Cool it down fast.
Yeah, yeah. So if we just drop that in there, perfect. And that'll just cool it, so you can now bring that out. Okay, so you want to scrape the surface to make sure there's no dross on the surface. And then use these, if you use these pliers. Can I take the gloves off you, actually? Too complicated, too many things all going on at once. There you go. Thank you.
It's more to do with industrial stuff, so it's like big sand molds with wooden I guess good. Can that literally just go straight back in?
Yeah, it just melts back down, yeah.
Is that got enough talc in it?
I'd put a little bit on there, just a bit more, just to... There's another more. That's good. Yeah, that's just there. And then you've got some files. So the file, you're just literally around the edge. Yeah.
Is that about right?
That's good. So just in one quick movement. That's good. And you can stop. Yeah. It's a very small amount that it actually needs, but by continuing to pour it, because sometimes it wants to draw it in, and if you're continuing to pour, it's got pewter to keep pouring down into it. So.
Well, it did well, actually, didn't it?
Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah.
I was amazed with the
That sort of seems quite...
Yeah, that should be all right. So you can come round. Oh, I'll move these round the other side. Sorry, do you want those to put on there?
All right.
Oh, you've not got your wooden bits. Sorry, I'm passing them on. I've missed you out. Sorry. Those pewter earrings.
No, the silver.
Oh, the
one.
silver ones. Just
Like
checking.
it and been off and
don't
bend
worry.
it on fire. Does that look all right to do?
Yeah, that looks good now, yeah. Because if you don't have the talc on it, it can, if you have too much, it can actually start to fill all the details, so it's not as sharp. So you just want to, and if there's not enough, it might not flow as well. That's it, you all right? Do you want me to hold that? Perfect.
Thank you.
And you can just put that in the water and that'll cool that down. There you go. There we are. So I would put the clamp around the side, because that way it can't stand up at the moment. So you see, if you put the clamp around here like that, and then it can stand in the base of the melting pot, of the tray, sorry. Yeah, or you can do it the other way. If you do it this way around, it'll still fit and you're not balancing it because it's not as tall.
Now, is that all right to touch?
Yeah, that should be fine, yeah. So you can, there's some cutters on your desk over there, those orange-handled ones. You can just cut that sprue off and just give it a bit of a file and an emery.
Right.
Nice and shiny. No, you're all right. I was going to say you might want to roll your sleeve down a bit as well, just some of those. You roll your sleeves down a bit just so your arm's covered when you're doing the pouring. So again, you've done that. No, so if you put it round the side, so you can see how tight that is. You've actually closed the hole.
Ah.
So you want to. It's got to be really quite loose. So can you see how that's opened up now?
Yeah.
And if we do it on the side, so it can stand up. So that's. You see now you've got a good size hole there to pour the pewter into. Yeah, just a little bit, just in case anything splashes. That's all. It just. Yeah.
I thought just
Me? Oh, sorry. Oh.
I'll put you over it so it's right.
So that's it. You can leave that in the tray. You don't need to lift that up. Yeah. So you just want to scrape the surface, get the dross off the surface. Don't worry about that. It just melt. It's fine. It'll just melt and it'll come off. You don't need to worry too much. Oh yeah, don't worry about all that. Honestly, it's fine.
So scrape the surface off.
So you scrape the surface off the pewter. So you're trying to get rid of. You see how it's gone that goldeny colour. You don't want any of that because that can create little imperfections in the casting.
That's beautiful.
And then you just drop that in that tray. That's it.
Got one here off.
That's good. Don't worry, honestly, it's fine. And then you can just check that the pewter's pouring off the ladle. So when you dip the ladle into the pewter,
Yeah.
drop that in, and then just pour it, and just pour it back into the pot. We just want to make sure it's. You see how cleanly that came off the pewter, so that's good. That's ready. You can go with that now. So just
Spoon made of.
cast iron. Yep, and get it in the hole. That's it. That's lovely.
Okay.
It's done. Yeah. And then if you put that flat side down so that it keeps the ladle warm. Oh, on here. Sorry.
On here.
Yeah, it just keeps the ladle warm and it stops it rolling off. And then you can just open that up. Do you want some bigger gloves? Sorry, you've got the small ones there, haven't you?
Yes, these are rather small.
Yeah, they're a bit tight, those ones. So that's a little bit tight, so I'm just going to loosen it off and just slide it into the middle of there. That's it. Because we don't want to block the hole completely. And that's ready to go.
Want it opened up now?
Yeah, you can open that up. So it's going to be a bit hot, so when you open it up, if you just use the pliers to take that out. That's good. And then just check it's running nice and cleanly off the ladle.
What temperature is the tinner? The pewter?
291 at the moment.
Missed all of it.
Oh, you missed a little. So it may be we're a bit hesitant with the pouring. So, but do it again. Just go back round and do it again. That's fine. Yep, you're ready to go.
Right.
That's it. Pour that in. So you need to just be quite quick with the pouring and do it in fast because see how it's a thin trickle there. It's quite slow.
Fill the mould, you think?
It might do. We just need to see. So if you put that back in the pot, we'll find out when we open it up. Because it may be because it was a long, slow, thin trickle, it's solidifying early on, and it may be that you get the same as that he just had here, where only half the body's come out.
Yeah, this gentleman has the same problem.
Oh, have you lost his feet?
I got lost his feet. Yeah.
Well, it's just coming out the water.
Just took it away, it's fine. He's got cold feet.
If I move these. So, oh, you won't do that. It's that one, isn't it? Yeah, you can do it. So that's ready to open up. That one. And you're going to do your own one, aren't you?
No,
Oh, you're doing that one? Oh, sorry. You're going to do that one.
it's all right. I'll do my one.
You know what you're doing.
No, it's fill the bowl.
It's filled it? Excellent. That's good. So it's going to be hot. So if you use the pliers to lift it out, and then there's some water behind you, you can just drop that into it.
Did you say I can make
Yeah, please do if you want to have another. Once you've done your casting and everybody's done them now, so please feel free if you want to make another one. Do you want some of these needle files? They're small little files, so they might get into more of the detail. And then what you can do is use, if you tear off a piece of this emery paper, and then you can just wrap that round the file. So once you've filed it, and then you do it with the emery, and then you can just with the brush over it, and it'll give it a nice satin finish. Yeah? You okay? You're all right with that?
I think I'll try a shell.
You try a shell?
Sorry, how would you deal with the mould lines in the texture?
So
do you
I would,
just leave it?
I
Or
would.
do you get in there?
You can file it a little bit, but it's trying to sculpt. You've got those needle files. You might be able to get in with the little half.
I should have maybe brought my glasses.
It's yeah. I know. I've discovered that I need to use them a lot more, and it's a bit more. But you might be able to get in with it, and then if you tear off a piece of emery, you can then wrap around that and do that. Yeah, it's a bit difficult because but you may even find just doing it with your hand with a little bit of emery and just using a bit and doing it. It's because it's only a basic taster, so I haven't got bench pegs and things, so it's a bit awkward to. Yeah, how's that? That's looking good, but you're an expert. So you ready? Scrape now. So yeah, that's good. So you just want to, we can just file that off. So if you file off that sprue, you can just use a bit more pressure on it. You see how that's coming off a lot better. And then once you've done that one, you can do the emery. And you can even just go around. Actually, you've not got much of a seam. There's a little bit there. You can maybe just, so if you do it in a curve mold, so you're following the line of the curve as well.
Thank you.
All right. That's good. If you want to do it at your table, that's wherever you sat.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it's a bit easier for you to do it, just because other people, when people are coming round, you might get interrupted by. It's good. So you want the big gloves, don't you, once that's open?
Right, draw, guys.
Wow.
It's okay, don't burn yourself.
Yeah,
There's no rush.
that's good. Okay. Oh, sorry, I just keep leaning right. I'm not very good with this. There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, squeeze through.
Yeah. Alan, that's just asking you to take photos.
Good.
So,
You should get a picture of me because I'm the spy from the girdle.
Oh, no, you tell me.
We would have probably been terribly at war once upon a time.
but not anymore.
The girdlers over there.
Does that come out okay?
Yes, fine.
Oh, it's good.
Bit short of a leg.
Oh, we chopped the other one down to the same size. That's good.
I was master when Wendy was master for the first
Thank you
year.
very much. God, it's so photogenic, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. You're so photogenic. Sorry, and I'm just tapping you while you're pouring pewter. That's the health and safety wrong.
That doesn't matter.
Lovely.
There we go. So if you just put that flat side down, just so it keeps it nice and warm. I'm careful because it's still a bit. Can you see how that was moving around a bit? You just want to wait for it to solidify a little bit.
Still moving.
Yeah. It's just because it was. Also, what can happen is it can just pour out of the mould again. That should be okay. Is that guessing? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. It's got shorter legs, hasn't it? You can. Do you want? I mean, you can always try doing another one as well if you want. Yeah.
Gosh, where's that big mould?
It's on the. So it might be the other end of the table, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could cut them to make them shorter, so they're the same size as that. So if you could use these if you wanted to, because it's quite easy to snip. You know, it just snips it off. And then you can use the files to shape it so it's the same shape. Oh, yeah, your glasses. Don't split. Sorry, no. That's good. Just be careful when you drop it in because you haven't got your safety glasses on. Just.
Got on the other end of it.
Oh, right. Is it over on the table over there? It might have been put back and that bit not. Yeah. So is it, watch it doesn't, it's not too, yep, no, that's okay. It's not moving too much. Yeah.
Oh, no, failed. Didn't go in.
Oh, right. It was probably me distracting you talking to as well. So maybe if you want to try doing it again, just put it back in the bits of wood. There is another shell one that actually is probably a bit, that might be a bit easier to. That one should definitely come out because that's the bigger one. So try that one, yeah. So you can also use plaster for making plaster moulds. If you were to use Plaster, obviously, you've not got enough flexibility in the mould, so you can't do any. There can't be any undercuts. It needs to just be able to lift straight out, and obviously make sure it's completely dry. So because any moisture in the plaster will, and it literally explodes out of the mould. Yeah, I've had it once. I hit the floor because I thought it exploded. It was all over the ceiling. So you do need to be careful.
Is that the same with all mould?
Yeah, with any, you don't want any moisture, so you need to just be very careful that there's no water in any. And the same if you do cuttlefish casting, because I live in Littlehampton, so we've got the beach right by us, but I need to dry. I always make sure they're completely dry for a few weeks before you use them, because again, any moisture in the mould, the pewter, the molten metal reacts to it. Yeah. So, does that come out? Sorry, we're getting. Yeah. That's good. So it's nice, confident pouring. It's quite because you sort of the first time you're pouring it and you're pouring molten metal into a mould when I'm asking you to do it quickly. May not be the first time, but
No, I haven't done it. That's the other one over there. I've done before. Yeah, I didn't feel as though it went in, you know, so it sort of stopped.
some of them are quite small moulds, so it's quite deceptive how little you actually need to.
This gentleman's kindly let me push in front of it. Do you reckon that's enough?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So you need the 2 pieces of wood. Have they gone? Where's the other 2 bits? Oh, they're there. Yeah. So you could probably open that up now.
No,
you've not done it yet, right? Yeah. There we go. So if you use those ones.
Yeah, didn't do it. So there's no leaf there.
Oh, right. That's a little bit. But you've got the acorn. So what you could do is cut off. So you see how you've got the actual acorn there. You could maybe take that bit off, and you've got the acorn still, and have another go at doing another one.
Right.
It is quite thin, that one. So it is a bit. That one's a bit hit and miss. I forgot that one was in there. Yeah.
Right. So you.
Because if you go too thin, the pewter can't go all the way down. Up.
Right. So let's have a.
Oh, clamp. Yep.
If I tilted it, would that help?
It does help because you're making the flow go in that direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So open up a bit. That's it.
Just going to look, compare acorns, but she had a different one.
Oh yeah, that's a different. You try to see if yours is better than hers.
If I'd got all the definition in there, or whether I'd lost some through pouring it too slow. Or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. I mean, give it another go. You can always test it and see.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I noticed your stuff outside, you know, the thing with your ants with the leaves.
Yeah.
How did you colour the leaves?
It's alcohol ink.
Alcohol, just
Yeah.
like what you get in a coffee
Yeah,
market.
yeah, and then I've got a UV varnish on it so it doesn't fade. So, yeah, and the pewter underneath it's polished, so it gives it that iridescent sort of look to it a little bit as well. Because everyone thinks it's glass, but it's no. Yeah, put that down there. Yeah. So no, it's a little bit tight, so I'm just going to loosen that up.
Make sure everyone can get.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So I'll just do that. And then put that in there. So now you can just pour that into there. So nice and quickly. That's it. Just keep pouring. And you can stop. That's good. And then in there, and then flat side down again, just so that the pewter's resting in the skid. So just wait for a minute, just because you see how it's still very liquid. So if you were to move that, it could pour straight back out. It's quick, but not that quick. That's good, yeah. Yeah, so you got your talc just there. Oh, you've done it? Oh, yeah, lovely. So we need to wait for that.
Yeah, it's kind of letting me push in.
Yeah, there you go. And the boards. I'll just take the boards off you as well.
Yeah.
Oh, is it stuck? Yep.
Okay.
There we are. Lovely. Thank you. There you
It's
go.
all right, no, it's fine, yeah, it's fine.
This one first.
So yeah, you might need to just do it slightly near the edge so the clamp can get to the middle. That's it. That's good. Yeah, that's much better. You've got a full casting on that one.
Can you sort of, if you made like the little spoon that you have with the leaf coming out,
Yeah.
you made the leaf, can you then warm it in some way to just maybe put a little bit of life into it to curl it?
You don't need to warm it. You can actually just hammer. If you I tend to use wooden formers and rawhide mallets and wooden mallets because they mark the metal less because obviously it's.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And then you can just hammer that over them. It's quite, because it is soft material, you can sort of shape it quite easily like that. I wouldn't, if you're making decorative pieces, it's fine, you can go quite thin, but if it's something that's used all the time, it does need to have a bit of extra weight to it and thickness to it because it can bend relatively easy. So if you'll think like my cheese knives in there, they're cast solid because you're usually putting a lot of pressure on the handle. So just giving it that bit of thickness and weight, and it's cast. And it's actually what's really nice about it. You can get a lovely weight. So there's nothing worse than using a piece of cutlery and it's like nothing there. Whereas that's got that nice weight to it. So you do have to adapt and think differently when you're doing it to sort of accommodate the differences like that it is softer than silver and things like that and bends easier. So. But yeah, that's easy because I tend to, if I'm making a shape and I will cast them, because obviously if they're all curved when you do them, that's a lot of rubber you're using as well. So I tend to cast them flat and then shape them afterwards because then you're getting just a flat, simple mould. You're not having to use great big chunks of rubber, which can be expensive. So yeah.
Would you join them with a soldering iron?
You use torch and a pewter solder and flux. So yeah. You can weld them together just so you can use. So sometimes if I'm doing a handle or something that's quite round that I don't want to see a seam in it, I'll actually just like it's literally welding a strip of pewter down it. So then when you file it, there's no evidence of any kind of a joint. It's because my shapes are very curvy and I don't want a straight line down the middle of them. So. Oh, thank you.
Like a production line.
Thank you. I mean, the thing is with it, there are so many different techniques and processes you can use with it. It's, a lovely material.
I like the idea of the cuttlefish because that has like a grain to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You always get that texture. But then saying that, when you're carving into the cuttlefish, so you're keep going, but it's a bit too, when you're pouring it, you need to just go straight into it.
Right.
Yeah, that might have been why it was, but that should be full now, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So you can, with the cuttlefish, when you're carving it, can you see like the little dots on it? These dots here, can you see how they're quite shiny? Because you're compressing the bone with the tools. It makes it the structure between the bones much more dense, so you're getting a nice smooth surface rather than this where it's quite open and I was just scraping the cuttlefish away. With that, I mean things like that, it's just these round-ended tools just literally pushing it in. Yeah, and it just makes it. You've not got that detail, but it's quite nice to have that contrast with it.
And can that be polished up? You know,
Yeah, this is
like silver.
Yeah, oh yeah, this has been. They've actually gone a bit dull now. I pulled them. I've got a shelf in there with all my test pieces in the workshop. So yeah, shall I watch you? But they can be. That's been blackened and polished back. That's just been left. So that's why it's a little bit more.
Is this too tight?
No, we just see. Nope, that's good. Perfect. Did it come out all right, that one? Oh, no, it's good. Excellent. You might find those big ones. Where have they gone?
Big ones are here.
Oh yeah. So because you can get a bit of an. I just swoop in there. So.
Very, very thick at the back.
Yeah, that's good.
Very, very thick at the back.
Yeah. So if you go in from that side and then go in from that side, and you should be able to just tease it off then. Yeah.
Specs to
it's
give back.
good. Yep. Try to take them off,
Yeah.
you know. Lovely. Okay. I mean, if anybody does want to try doing more, you can always get in touch with me if you have any problems or you want to give it a go. It's good. So, no? Do you want me to do it? It's all
I
right.
don't want to chop its head off.
Sorry about that.
There you go. Let's see you just. Oh, sorry.
Thanks very much indeed.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good. So you can put that back in the pot and then flat side down. Yeah, so it's just a little bit, so just wait for it to solidify a little bit more. So you can now just file that around its nose to get his point of his nose back in. Yeah, that's good, so you can... It's the Christmas present time. You're home to see the grand reveal. So yeah, that's lovely. Oh, hot. Yeah. Yeah, pies. And then you can just put that in the water. You hear that sissy hissing? It could have been your fingers.
I'd be thinking, I'll have to look it up when I get home. Yeah, in a book.
There you go.
It comes to me quite far down the line.
This must be great in schools as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do. You can do it with quite young children. I've done like forestry schools with kids in the woods as well, and we've melted it over open fire in a ladle, and we've done some of the cuttlefish ones with that. So they've carved into it and then poured it in. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, with that you've got a double whammy. You've got an open fire and molten metal, so they love it. So you might, if you do that from that side, and then you can, because you can see your line a bit better there, because you go in there, whereas it disappears a bit there. That's it. Oh, sorry.
Am I pushing my look, bringing that up?
Yeah, because
like
if you bring it above it, what happens is the pewter floods all over the clamp. So just by having it a little bit lower, it flows down the side. So it just, I mean,
I was trying to sort of tilt it a little bit to get into that leaf.
Oh, right, I see. Yeah, that's fine. You can do it like that.
But I mean, I don't know whether that's going to work. Is that going to work, do you think?
You can try it. It does. It is a tricky one, that one, because the leaf's quite thin. With gravity casting, you've sort of got a limit on the gloves. Put your gloves on the thickness of it. When you're doing the centrifugal casting as well, which is two discs of rubber that are in a machine that's spinning around, and you're pouring it in the top, so you can get much finer detail stuff with that as well.
Can you go with gravity casting then? Because Rory's doing some medallion things at the minute.
Medallions are really hard because yeah, I had to do one recently, and I think the gentleman over there is having this. Well, you've just got one, haven't you? But you can cast 20 and end up with 1 or 2 because it depends how thick you go with it and how big it is as well. How big is it that he's doing? Yeah. If you can go a little bit thicker with it, sometimes that can help, because it is quite it's quite a difficult one with medallions, because it's when you're gravity casting. Centrifuge, great, because it fires it in and it's out. Yeah. I mean, I have made moulds that I've just done a section of it and put wood all around here and then section with it, so I'm saving on rubber, but it's just that bit that's pouring into. Has he got access to that or not?
Probably has. He's got one of those.
He's got a melting pot. Ah, right, he's weird. What's he doing with it?
He's got a piece entered in the competition.
Oh, excellent. Oh, I've seen it. Yes, I have seen it.
The pebbles.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. Yep, and the gloves. Oh, you want those ones, don't you? The big ones. If he's got access to a centrifuge, it's probably...
I think it's something that they might look at getting for him
Yeah.
when he's got more established doing it.
Yeah.
At the minute, he's only got a little cubby hole for it all to be set up in.
Right. You can do it. I mean, you can do it with minimal in a small space. I mean, initially I was in an attic above a joinery and only I could fit in there because I was so short. But you can, that's the thing, you can. And because you can do it all yourself, that's the other, it satisfies that control freak in me. I don't need to send things out. You can do the mould making, casting, pattern, everything. So
Yeah, still haven't cracked it.
no, it's maybe just a little bit thin, that one.
Very much. I'm going
Are you?
to the office.
No, they look good. Did you want to just quickly brush? If you that one, it'll just take off that.
Oh, yeah.
So if you do,
Oh, right.
can you see it just takes off the?
Yeah.
Yeah, just quickly give over that. That one's not too bad, but the shell's probably a bit
One of
more.
these home I can put up as well. Yeah. And what's that? Is that just oxidised on top?
Yeah, it's just where it's in the mould. In the mould, sometimes it comes at different temperatures can create it. So you might need to just give it a bit more, be a bit more vigorous.
Jackie. Was it the turkey oak that we were talking about?
Sorry, say again.
Was it the turkey oak that we were talking
Thank you very
about?
much.
No, you're welcome.
No, not for, it doesn't mean anything to me. Thank you.
I ain't got a clue what time it is, actually. I haven't looked. I don't know where we're at. Does anybody have any questions? Is everybody?
I'm just going to say thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
That was really good. I'm quite encouraged to do it. I promise I won't put you out of business.
Is that about tighting up or is that off locking it in the middle?
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's lovely. That should be good, yeah.
It's quite when did they take lead out of pewter then?
It has. The lead-free pewter's been around for a long while. It's just there's always been the two. There's been the lead pewter and the lead-free pewter.
Is lead
Oh, do you want to put some gloves on, just so you?
sorry.
Yeah, no, just so you don't. Yeah.
Good, well spotted. Is lead pewter harder then?
No, I mean I've never worked with it with lead in it, but I've spoken to casters with it, and they actually preferred it with the lead in because apparently it flowed better. But because I've never used it, I don't.
I mean, I used to do quite a lot of plumbing, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And that was nice with lead solder.
Yeah, it
Rather
just
than the lead-free stuff, it always worked
flows better. Yeah, I think
But-
that's.
I mean,
From, oh, it's come out. That's good.
I suspect it tarnishes more quickly with lead in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because this won't tarnish. So.
It's quite something.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
No, you're
I
welcome.
really-
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I just show? Actually, this gentleman's just cast that medal in, so I don't know if you want to show him. And,
Yeah, it's a rock.
yeah, have you got your mould? Can you just
It's
show?
quite hot still.
Oh yeah,
I'll
no,
just leave
that's.
that there.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
You said you brought the alloy in with the tin and the
Yeah, I get
antimony and the copper.
Yeah.
How do they get the antimony into the alloy?
It's all. It's when I went to see them. It's literally a huge crucible, and they just melt it all in one.
Because
In them.
it's got a much higher softness
Yeah.
than the tin.
It's the. I'm not sure the exact process because I remember saying at the time, and it just all goes into this one big pot, and it
Yeah,
does
it's actually-
eventually.
it must be
Or I
very
suppose
high-
it's that high. Yeah.
High temperature
Yeah,
to get the
all together within it.
antimony dispersed
Yeah.
uniformly.
Yeah. How's that? Oh, that's come out well.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
good. So if you wanted to, you can just use in a steel brush, and it, you see how it just takes off. That gives it a little
Oh,
bit of
yeah.
a satin finish.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The other
Yes.
thing with these is that you sometimes find that they go a bit dark in the middle, but I mean once you start to polish them up, that all disappears.
Yeah. And what you can sometimes find if it's too thin, you can get little pitted marks in the middle of it as well, which it sometimes, and that's what it's quite hard to do. If you can get the right thickness with it, then it'd be.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, using, I didn't actually say that, when you're doing flat back things, you don't need to make two-part moulds, just use a piece of wood. Yeah, because you save, because obviously then you're saving on the cost of the rubber. So, because I quite often used to do that with coasters and things like that, so, yeah.
I mean the way I've obviously made that as well was that somebody had obviously made one of these, but the mould that they'd actually given me was broken.
Right.
So it was basically down to the Lego bricks.
Redo it.
Yeah, I mean,
redo it.
well, do you do mould making?
He's just started. He bought some of this blue stuff. I forget
Yeah,
what it's
that's
called.
quite expensive. I can email if you want to email me, and I can send you the links to the ones that I use. I get
that'd be
it from
brilliant.
Germany, but it's much more flexible and
Is
it's
that
really.
the red stuff?
Yes, that's this stuff. So you can feel how, and that doesn't tear. It's really high strength as well.
Yeah. Is it sort of like better per pound, as it were?
Yeah, I mean this is a
price
lot.
wise,
I mean, Tarantis they do one as well, which is the Tarantis. That's
the
Tarantis one.
I've seen that on the internet.
It's not
but
as
bought it yet.
flexible, this one, but it works just as well. So,
Yeah, it's firm.
and it can tear, whereas this really, you have to really, even with a knife, you're really cutting into that one. It's called, it's from,
Right.
yeah, it's,
I mean, there is another one that they advertise, which is a grey one.
Right.
But I've found that obviously as soon as you put pewter into it, it just melts away.
yeah,
It's
you've
not-
got,
it's not
it
good.
needs to be the one for the temperatures, but, yeah, so,
Where did my aircon go? I can't remember where it did. It was. Oh, it's still in here.
oh right, I was going to say,
I might not keep this one. I'll put this one back in.
If you email me, and if you anything you need to know about the different rubbers or anything, and I can email you all the details for it all. Okay. Is everybody all right?
So there's a bit more work on it, but I mean
That's good. Yeah, there's something quite therapeutic just sitting there. All right. If you want to just finish off while I'm just tidying away, please do. If you